Welcome to The Adult Man. My name is William. Today I'm talking about the differences between a $100 suit and a $500 suit. I'm going to discuss everything you need to know to find a great looking suit when you're on a budget. So let's get into it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. Give me a thumbs up. Both things are super helpful for the channel. I really appreciate it. As I said, I'm talking about the differences between a $100 suit. This one is from H&M, and then a $500 suit. This is the Ludlow from J.Crew. So let's get into it. First up, this is the slim fit suit from H&M. I got this, I was on my way to Chicago for a wedding, and I left my nice suit at home on the chair. And we showed up in Chicago. I didn't have any money left basically, and all the money that I did have was budgeted for beer and pizza and hot dogs. Like, what else are you gonna do? So walked into H&M just looking for something that I could wear to this wedding. And I found this green suit and I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting that suit. So I picked it up. It was like 120 bucks or something like that, if I remember correctly, but really, really budget friendly. At the time, that was the most I can afford. And I've had it for probably 3 years now. I believe about 3 years, maybe 4 years, something like that. I've probably worn it 20 to 25 times. So not too much, but enough to notice a few things. So when you're looking at a $100 suit, these could be from H&M, but sometimes you find these on the rack, Macy's, JCPenney, wherever it is. But these tend to be a lot more trendy. A couple things you'll notice here, this lapel is very, very slim. This was super popular in the early 2000s, and it's a really like a young man style if you're like under 25. And really when it comes to suits, that trendy fashion aspect is not what we're going for. We want more classic. Now, if you think about suits back in the 80s with the super wide lapels, that only lasted for 7-8 years before that went out of style. And so when you're looking for a suit and you're going to spend a decent amount of money, you want to go with something that is not very trendy. You want to go with something more classic. One thing to note about $100 suits is that the lining is not really sewn in there. These are made super quickly. That's how they keep the price so low. And that results in two things that you need to know. First of all, it's really warm, so there is not a lot of breathability. You have basically two pieces of fabric that are kind of glued together rather than sewn, and so there's just no really room for that to move around, and it just creates a big solid layer of fabric between your body heat and the world. So it kind of really traps that in. So first of all, it's hot to wear, and second of all, what that actually does is, since that fabric can't really move around because it's cemented in there, it starts to create, as your body releases moisture, it starts to release that glue, and it kind of creates little bubbles like this right here on the button. This is worn through a good amount, and so it's just not flat. It doesn't sit flat. It's kind of got this weird bubble, and you can kind of see that a little more closely when you look elsewhere on the jacket, especially around the arms and in the shoulders, like right here on the shoulder blade. That's the area where you really want a clean line that's going to give you that super traditional masculine look. But with a $100 suit, it kind of just gets like quote unquote floppy. Like it just looks a little bit floppy, and so it doesn't have that perfect refined edge that you want with a suit. Another thing to note with $100 suits, this is also true with $500 suits, and you only get out of this as you get into like the $700-800 suits, kind of that higher end. But none of these buttonholes are functional. So for instance, like I can't unbutton any of these. With finer suits, that's generally a marker of good quality, is that all these buttonholes are they're functional. Also, with your $100 suit, if you're looking inside the pants here, this is particular to H&M, but I think this is generally true. There's just a lot of extra fabric in here, and it ends up just being a very hot and kind of a stiffer experience. So that's one thing. You kind of lose some of that comfort, some of that perfect fit with the $100 suit. And lastly, most importantly, when it comes to a $100 suit, the fabric quality is just not that great. I mean, I've had this, worn it probably 20 times maximum, and maybe you can't tell on camera, but when you're looking at it up close, you can see that some of the dye is fading. It just doesn't have the same color, especially around the elbows and in the shoulders. Anything you move around a lot, it starts to kind of lose its color, and it's not such a uniform, sharp looking suit anymore. Now, looking at a $500 suit, This is from today's video sponsor, J.Crew. This is the legendary Ludlow suit that so many guys in their early 30s, late 20s, and moving up into their 40s, like so many guys went to the Ludlow suit because it was kind of the first nice looking slim fit suit that you could get for a reasonable price, right around $500. This one, I think all in all was about $540. So just very slightly over $500, but it's right in that range. And the main difference that you're getting, and this is true for any $500 suit and any $100 suit, is that the fabric is just a much, much higher quality. This right here is English wool from Abraham & Sons. They are a famous, legendary fabric manufacturer over in England. And the difference, and you can't feel it, but this is really thick, really rich, but it stays lightweight, very breathable, and it just looks and feels incredible. For both of these suits, they are a slim fit, but with the Ludlow suit, you're getting a lot more of the classic elements like this wider lapel. Again, this isn't like the super in vogue, really, really wide lapel. It's definitely not the old, I guess early 2000s super slim lapel. This is gonna look good on guys, whether you are 20, 30, or 40. This is just a classic look, and it's gonna last. Like, this style will last at least a decade. I tell you, in 2030, unless we're all on Space Moon 9, like, this is still going to be in style. So to answer the question of whether you should get a $100 suit or a $500 suit, it really comes down to cost per wear. For this H&M suit, I basically can't wear it unless, like, for some reason I just want to go out and like, I don't mind messing my suit up. Then I would definitely choose the H&M one, because, like, if you're a waiter at a restaurant or something like that, you don't want to you just spill spaghetti sauce on it, like, whatever. You don't want a nice suit for that. But really, after about the 15th wear of that H&M suit, it started to look too faded in the elbows. It started to kind of bulge out in weird spaces and just definitely lose a lot of its structure. So it did not stand the test of time. Whereas with the J.Crew Ludlow suit, it still has these very clean lines going in the shoulders, this very clean line down the front. It has the classic lapel that I'm no longer like, I don't feel like a 19-year-old when I wear the Ludlow suit. I feel like a man. And at 30 years old, you just can't pull off that slim lapel. It's too trendy, and frankly, it's out of style now at this point too. So want something classic, still slim fitting, still modern, still contemporary, but made with like really refined fabric, something that looks good on you. Guys, those are the main differences between your $100 suit and your $500 suit. Again, this is the J.Crew Ludlow suit. I'm a huge fan of it. These are so easy to pick up for weddings or any sort of formal engagement or for work. They're super classic. The fabrics are fantastic, and really, you look super sharp, and they're pretty budget friendly. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please hit that subscribe button down below. Give me a thumbs up, and until next time, stay manly.